So today I am on the way to go with some of my bikini competitors and fitness competitors, and we are on the way to go see the amazing Claire skeet at Creative Bikinis. This is kind of part of prep that people forget about. It's the fun part, but it's also a very important part. If you choose the wrong suit color or the wrong connectors, they can make your legs look really chunky. If you choose the wrong color, it can wash your skin out. There are so many variables at play, and this is why I like going with my competitors when possible. Obviously I can't do it all the time with interstate people and whatnot, but if I do have clients interstate, I'll get them to send me swatches or photos, and then we can really make a call. I find there's certain colors that suit blondes better than brunettes. There is certain federations that like different styles. I obviously compete and coach most athletes in the IFBB or NPC in the US as they call it. In Australia it's just IFBB for amateurs and pros. So the IFBB prefers really bold, strong, simple designs, and that's what we're going for today. So I think I've got about 7 of my competitors meeting me down there. Some first timers, some are my regulars, and I might even have a look at some colors for myself for the end of the year. So as I was saying, it's so important that competitors get the right color, the right fit. Claire is amazing. She is my go-to lady in WA. She also makes bikinis Australia-wide. She'll be at the Arnold Classic, and she is just amazing. I'll show you inside her amazing facility in Western Australia. Amazing Claire, who owns Creative Bikinis. You can say hi to YouTube, Claire.
Hi. The paradox, so this one, paradox AB.
See, I think that with like that sort of gradient on it.
We see that there is
Hey guys, so we got back from Claire's a couple of hours ago. I've just been doing a little bit of work till then, and I thought I would give you a little bit of a chat about dogs. Oi, outside! I thought I would have a little bit of chat about bikini choices in terms of the actual bikini fit. So I will go through in another video, if you're interested, the actual styles, colors and cuts. I'm no expert, but I've done enough shows myself and prepped enough clients and, you know, watched physiques on stage to understand what I personally think looks best, after also chatting to judges, what they think looks best. At the end of the day, it comes down to your individual physique. But what I mean by connectors is obviously the connectors on the bikini here, connectors in the center, and connectors at the bottom. What I find is that if you are somebody that's more bottom heavy, so you're bigger in the legs and bum, you're gonna look better with thinner connectors because it's gonna lengthen your legs. If you get the really chunky ones, then they're gonna obviously chop you off at the lower body. So for someone like me, I have quite long legs compared to my torso. So it probably wouldn't look too bad, but then sometimes it can chop my torso off. So I tend to go for quite thin ones. But then again, the last time I competed, I had a lot less muscle. So I may go for a different style connector now based on the fact that my body shape has changed. So don't just choose your connectors based on, oh, because they look pretty. I've always wanted to have like those dangly ones and like nice big chunky ones here. And whenever I put them on my physique, they just do not suit me at all. So it comes down to what actually suits you. In terms of colors, I always think it's best to go for a really bold, bright color. It depends on the lighting at the stage. So somewhere like the Arnold's, the lighting's really bright. So I found that watching it last year, a lot of the pastel pale colors really got washed out on the stage. Ones with the really dark and deep bases tended to look the best. And any of, obviously, like your prime colors always look amazing. So your reds and blues, probably not yellows, but reds and blues look amazing, greens look amazing, purple always looks really good, the deeper purples. Any of those shades you're pretty safe with. The ones that I would avoid or be really careful with if you're gonna have them on stage are things like pale pink, pale purple, white, black. They can look amazing, but you've really got to make sure that your tan's spot on. the connectors are right, all of those other things. So make sure you choose a shade that complements your physique, your hair, your skin tone, your eye color. Even though everyone has a tan, your skin tone will still look different even with a tan on compared to one person to the next. So I've probably had every shade under the sun of bikinis, I think. I think when I competed last, I think I've done about 14 shows, and I pretty much got a new bikini for every single show. I was really lucky. Claire, that you saw the footage of before, used to look after me really well because I send all my clients there and we have a good relationship. And I would just want to change bikini colors every time. I just wasn't happy. And then the last show that I did, I wore green and I loved it, and that's probably a color that I would probably stick to a little bit more now. There's a few colors I haven't had before. I've never touched reds. I've had a watermelon, so red's probably one that I have been considering. I think that red and green look amazing on blondes, and a lot of blue shades tend to look good on blondes as well. I think that blonde should avoid pink. I think it can make you look really Barbie dollish, and those sort of colors. So you want to obviously have a color that matches your personality as well. So I'm not someone that's a girly Barbie doll, so for me wearing pink, it just wouldn't suit my personality on stage. And that's why I've always geared away from red, because I feel like red works better on girls that are a lot sexier on stage, and I'm not really like that. But my physique's changed now, my posing's changed now, so that may be a color that I'll think about a little bit more. Otherwise it's probably going to be green. So that is in terms of bikini choice and color. The other thing we need to go through is cup fit. I'll grab a few bikinis in the next video. If you comment below and let me know if that's something you'd be interested in, I'll actually hold some up and show you through them. Now you can get the actual cup molded ones, which come in your normal bra size, so like A, B, C, D. I've never ever worn one of those. I had one made for me once and I hated it. I tried it on and it made me look really blocky. So what I normally do is I just get a triangle cut, which is like a normal bathing suit cut, but you obviously get it lightly padded or lightly trimmed. And then you can still use all the same connectors. I just feel like that shape works a lot better for me. Now, anyone with fake breast augmentation tend to look really good in those as well. If you don't have any boobs, I would definitely go for a cup, something that's going to give you a little bit more fullness. So if you tend to have the cup and you've got breast implants, it can make them look even bigger. And the goal on stage is not to have your chest overpower your whole presentation. So if you're someone that's got a really small frame and then you've got these cups and everything's pushed in and up, it can look like your whole physique is about your boobs. So you've got to remember that the number one thing the judges want is symmetry and balance everywhere. So like I said before, if you've got a really good butt, but then you've got no shoulders, you're probably not going to win the show. It's about bringing an even, balanced, symmetrical package to the stage. So you might look at someone on a photo and think, oh my God, they've got amazing abs, why didn't they win? They were probably sloppy from the back, or they probably didn't have any delts, they posed really poorly. So you've got to think that it's about the overall package when it comes to competing. Alright, so I'm going to go into another topic now in terms of prep. Now, a lot of people ask me, obviously I really endorse flexible dieting. I don't use the word IIFYM anymore because I don't believe all foods should fit your macros, or I don't believe they should fit your macros on the daily. There's certain foods that I believe, just from a health point of view, you probably shouldn't eat in your diet, or you should eat very limited amounts of them and eat them sparingly. So in terms of that, people ask me, do you put clients on meal plans when you prep them, and should I be on a meal plan or should I do macros? Now, I've had prep clients before and I've done both macros and meal plans, and also meal plans that have macros, so if they want to change out foods they can, which is what I normally do. I personally hate running meal plans for clients. Why? Because clients are usually fussy. They usually say, I'll write them a meal plan, I'll spend all this time writing it out, and then they'll go, I don't like that food, even though I've asked them what they dislike and what they like. The other reason being is that a meal plan is very hard to stick to 7 days a week. It's very, very difficult. So what I like doing with clients, if there's someone that needs that organization, some of my clients are amazing on meal plans, is I'll say to them, look, stick to it from Monday to Friday, and then on the weekends track your macros and just hit the numbers that are in your meal plan, or you'll have your high carb day or whatever it is on the weekend. For me personally, I like to pretty much eat the same thing. Not so much just when I'm prepping, but year round. I'm really boring. So at the moment, I am on a higher caloric intake, so I'm on just over 2,000 calories a day at the moment. My current macros, God, I don't even remember. They are the protein's quite high. I just bumped my protein up. It's 1 because I'm doing a bit more resistance training at the moment. I'm doing less powerlifting style training. So 165 protein, 185 carbs, and about 85 grams of fat at the moment. I've really bumped my fat up and dropped my carbs. Normally I would probably be off season more like the 250, 300 grams of carbs, 50, 60 grams of fat. But I've been really working on my hormones lately, and I've found that having a lot higher fat intake while still having a reasonable carbohydrate intake, I feel really good on about the 180, 200 gram mark, has been really, really good for my hormones. My hair's grown, my skin's been better, been so many positive things. The only thing I have noticed, and a lot of people say you get less cravings when you eat more fats, I've actually found that I've probably had a little bit higher cravings the last few weeks, but there's so many external factors. I've been really busy, moving house, stressful times, not stress, I hate that word, but busy times when it comes to work. So I think that you've got to always look at, is it that or other factors going on in your life? Anyway, getting back to the topic of, do I prefer meal plans or like tracking when you're prepping? It depends on you, what works for you. With clients, if I find that they're, like say, not dropping and they're being a bit up and down with their tracking and I'm not really sure if they're being compliant, then I might stick them on a meal plan and just see if that fixes things up, but I prefer not to. I prefer to give my clients meal ideas, have them fill in meal diaries, I can give them feedback, because then they at least get to enjoy foods that they want to eat every day. I don't know what your taste buds like. I know what I like, and you might hate those foods. I've put meals that I think are delicious in clients' meal plans before, and they're like, oh, how do you eat that? And to me, that's something delicious. So that's why meal plans are also really hard to write. You don't know someone else's taste buds. So for me, I'm really cleaning up my diet. The next few weeks, I'm going to be really busy again with work. So I prefer to meal prep even off season when I'm busy. When I've got more time and I'm at home more, then, no, not even when I'm at home because I work when I'm at home, but when I have more downtime and less busyness on the computer, I will tend to not prep my meals as much. What I'll tend to do is just cook off a lot of like chicken and stuff like on the weekends and then kind of put together a meal throughout the day. But at the moment, I'm really busy. I'm going to Bali this week for work. So I want all my meals Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, even tomorrow being Sunday, to be all ready to go. So I don't have to think about it. I can just focus on work, packing. Even when I'm working from home, I can then just grab that meal out of the fridge or freezer and it's ready there. So what I'm planning on doing for the next week is prepping probably 4 out of my 5 meals a day. I've gone back to eating 5 meals a day. I was eating 4 before, and I found that my hunger dropped a little bit. I find I get more hungry if I actually eat more, and I want to be hungry at the moment. I want my metabolism to start actually having a thermic effect from the food that I'm eating. So I'm prepping 4 out of my 5 meals, and then my 5th meal is generally my post-workout. I generally train at night, or it is my last meal of the night. And then what I'm going to do is basically just the macros I have left over, I'm going to make up a meal, and I'll probably have 2 options. So if it's in the evening and it's post-workout, it'll probably either be like cereal and protein powder, something higher carb, or it'll be like chicken and rice, really boring. If it's an evening meal and I've trained in the morning, then it's probably going to be like salmon and salad or sweet potato, or a smoothie. I tend to eat something like that at night time. I like foods that digest quite quickly. So at the moment, my other meals are pretty straightforward. Generally, because I PT sometimes in the mornings, I like something easy in the morning. At the moment, I'll either have macro snacks or I'll have oats, protein powder, almonds if I can be bothered, but generally macro snacks are a lot easier. Generally, my meal 2 will be like some form of chicken, sweet potato, a fat sauce, green beans, or some salad. Next meal after that will generally either be red meat or chicken again, and then I'll generally have obviously 1 more meal in there, which will be my pre-workout meal. And again, I'll probably either prep a couple of days of either usually having a smoothie, or I'll do the alternate and I'll probably have something like a wrap with some salad and some chicken, something a bit more carb heavy and low on the fat intake. So at the end of the day, it comes down to what works for you. If you are super busy and you do not have time to track your macros, sit and play on MyFitnessPal all day, and you don't want that headache, pre-plan a day in MyFitnessPal that hits your macros, and then eat the same thing for a few days. Then if you get bored with it, just mix it up. That's what I tend to do. I'll eat the same thing for 4 or 5 days. It's not a meal plan, so to speak, but I've tracked it in MyFitnessPal. It hits my macros and everything's on point. So at the moment, you can see some of my boring examples of meals here. But we just have turkey, chopped up turkey, a big blob of coconut oil, sweet potato, green beans, and then I just make up a load of these and I write on the top of them what grams they are in them and the macros, and then I'll just generally whack them in the freezer, and then they're meals to go for a few days. So, well, not a few days, but 1 or 2 of my daily meals. And they're super easy. They might not even be a meal that I have every single day, but if I write the macros on them and put them in the freezer, I much prefer that to ordering meal companies. I have tried a few meal companies and I don't feel like they were that awesome. I feel like I can prep it myself and have it taste better and it'd be quick and easy anyway. So I felt so lazy doing it as well. So again, if you're someone that's super busy and you don't have time, by all means, no judgment on me if you want to order a meal company service or you don't know how to cook. But I'm a pretty reasonable cook, so for me, I enjoy cooking. It's something I do like doing. So I'll tend to cook 2 times a week, and then it might just be throwing things together like one other night a week. I work from home a fair bit, so I've got a little bit more flexibility. I'll tend to be working whilst I've got sweet potato in the oven and chicken cooking or in the crock pot. I'm not just sitting around cooking all day, but it's easier to multitask when you work from home. I'll have washing on and, you know, doing all these little things, probably trying to do 10 things at once. So, end of the day, what works for you, what works to get your results, all those things are important, and when you work with a coach, obviously they're going to work that out for you as well and work with you. But at the end of the day, you can't get around it. You have to either follow a meal plan or you have to either track your macros. You can't do like, oh, I'm going to half-ass my meal plan and then like just have a tablespoon of this, this, and this here and there. I've worked with clients before that have done that. They're like, I asked them if they've been compliant and they've kind of gone, oh yeah, I did my meal plan, but like I got hungry on it, so I was having this, this, and this, and I was like, were you tracking that extra food? And they're like, no. And they're not dropping weight, and you're like banging your head against the wall as a coach going like, what am I doing wrong? And then when you delve into it, that's been going on. So you've got to be honest with yourself about what you're putting in your body and figure out which way works best for you. And that's the same whether you're prepping or whether you're off season, on season, just a lifestyle person trying to look after your body composition. This year for me, I'm also about putting more nourishing foods in my body. I feel like when I prep, I generally eat a lot better in terms of quality of food, micronutrient dense food. And that's purely because I'm doing lower calories and lower those sort of foods, your micronutrient dense foods, so your berries and vegetables and everything like that, tends to be a lot less calorie dense. When I'm not prepping or not trying to diet or anything like that, I'll tend to grab more like protein bars, shakes, simple quick things. Again, I don't eat crap a lot, but more processed foods that don't really fill you up. They have, you know, some artificial sweeteners in them, all of that. So I'm just trying to get a lot healthier. I'm not saying I'm cutting that out, but for me, health is important because I'm a super busy person. And if I'm not feeling good, and I got sick and run down a few times last year, which is why I didn't YouTube a lot, because I was working so much and I wasn't really looking after myself. I was really looking after my clients and everyone else around me, my partner and my dogs, and I got sick a lot, I got run down, and I said, 2017, I am not doing that shit again. I'm gonna look after me, I'm gonna get back on stage, and I'm going to stick to my goals. It's all well and good to set goals, but to really stick to them is so, so important, and you get that sense of achievement when you've done them. And I felt like in 2016, I ticked a lot of things off my bucket list, like doing a powerlifting comp. That was awesome. If you want to go watch that powerlifting prep series, I'll link it below. But now I will be doing this prep series, not only about my prep, because I just find that a bit boring telling you what I'm eating all the time, but I want to answer your questions about prep in these vlogs. So ask away, comment away, anything that you want to know about getting ready for, say, a bikini comp or a physique comp. I'm not very well versed, I'll be honest, in like your bodybuilding and stuff like that for prep in terms of like posing or anything like that. I've prepped bodybuilders before. I'm prepping my partner Sean. He's a natural bodybuilder, so he'll be competing in September, and then I'll be getting on stage in October. So that's the plan. So basically, we've got a bit of fat to drop. We both haven't competed in a couple of years. So our goal, I think we're around 38 to 40 weeks out now. Sean's a bit less because his is in September, mine's in October, so I've got a couple more weeks on him. But we're going to the Arnold Classic in Melbourne, Australia. I've got clients on stage and I just love going there and seeing some of my fitness friends from around Australia and catching up with everyone. We're going there pretty much when we get back. Sean will start his cut and then I'll probably be dropping my calories down a little bit more around then as well, or even a little bit earlier because I've got a couple of photo shoots and things that I have to do for work. And I just want to start to feel good within myself again. And I'll be real and honest with you guys at this point. So 2016, again, I did tick some amazing things off my bucket list and I focused so hard on my strength training and my powerlifting and really I wanted to be a really empowering force for women. That's always my goal. It's always my goal for girls to feel kick-ass when they go to the gym and want to look after themselves from the inside out with their nutrition and not really give a shit about having a bit of extra body fat and being okay within themselves. And that is 100% my message through and through, always. But it's also nice at times to be really proud of what you can achieve within your body, and I felt like I didn't challenge my body in 2016. So my goal is to push myself now that I know I'm in a healthy place hormonally at a comp prep, seeing what my body can achieve now that I can kind of maintain weight around the 2,000 plus calorie mark with, you know, not a load of cardio in there. And yeah, I just want to feel like it's, you know, it's not unachievable to prep whilst also being so busy with work and clients and everything. And there's so many other YouTubers and people out there that do it. And I want to prove it to myself that I can do it as well. It's for no one else, whether I place, don't place. I'm not really that fussed about it at the end of the day. I just want to bring my best package possible compared to my physique from a few years back. I'll try to put in some little clips here and there of the past physique of what I want to bring. I know I've brought my glutes up. I know I've brought my quads up, my upper quad sweep. I know I've brought up my delts. My back is still something that's really lagging, but I'm going to be working on that for the next 10 weeks with Sean, and we're going to try to really bring that up as well. Because when I was powerlifting, you don't do a lot of accessory back work, to be honest, and I didn't really think about it, and I took some progress photos, and I was like, dear Lord, I have got no lats. So now that the new bikini pose for amateurs is very different and very lat dominant, I need to work on that. Before, I used to be able to get away with it in the old pose because it was just standing pushed back. Now with it being out, I need to really work on being able to bring that lat out, especially in the back pose, and making sure that I get that width in my upper body. So that's where everything's at. That has been a really average video in terms of meal prep. That's what I was supposed to do in the kitchen, and I just started rambling. But I hope you enjoyed the bit of footage from Claire's today, the chat about bikinis, the chat about meal plans versus flexible dieting. I'm going to end it here so this video doesn't get too long, and then I will be more than happy to go into so many more questions in this series. So please subscribe to this playlist, this series, and I would love to hear your questions in terms of prep from what I do as a coach or what I'm doing in terms of my prep. I find, again, like I said, I find that a bit boring, but I want to hear what you want to hear. If you want to hear about me, I will by all means go for it. If you prefer to hear me talk about what I do with my clients, by all means ask away. So I can't wait for this prep series. Now that I have got good internet at my home, we've got new upload speed, we've been having major issues with internet. It's Australia. So now that's sorted, I will promise you I will be putting up a video once every 7 days. That is my goal, and I hope you enjoy this series. Please subscribe, tag your friends if you think they'd be interested in watching this series, and I hope that this channel can really kick off, and I'll be much more committed to new content for you every single week.